Billionaire son was paralyzed until a homeless girl torched him. No one believed she could heal him. The wheelchair was custom-made, sleek and expensive, but the boy sitting in it looked small, too small. Julian was only 9 years old when the car accident stole his legs. 2 years had passed since then, and his father had tried everything: surgeons from across the world, experimental therapies, even faith healers who promised miracles for a price. Nothing worked. His father stood by the window of their luxury penthouse, phone pressed to his ear, negotiating another specialist. Julian sat nearby, staring at his tablet, a distraction from the life he used to have. Soccer. Running. Playing tag with kids who no longer invited him anywhere. "Dad," Julian said quietly. "Can we go outside?" His father hesitated, then nodded. "Just for a little while." Downstairs, in the plaza near their building, Julian's father pushed him along the smooth pavement. That's when Julian saw her, a girl his age, sitting on the curb with scraped knees and tangled hair, watching pigeons fight over crumbs. She looked over. Their eyes met. And for the first time in years, Julian didn't look away. "Before we go any further, we'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world to us and helps us bring you even more powerful stories. Now, let's begin." The girl stood up, wiping her hands on her worn jeans. She walked toward them, not hesitant, not shy. Just certain. Julian's father stiffened. "Sweetheart, we need to keep moving." But she was already kneeling in front of Julian's wheelchair, eye level with him. Up close, he could see the dirt smudged on her cheek, the frayed edges of her shirt. But her eyes, they were clear, deep, like she could see straight through him. "You're sad," she said simply. Julian blinked. No one ever said it out loud like that. He didn't know what to say. She reached out, her small hand hovering over his knee. "Can I?" His father stepped forward. "I don't think. It's okay, Dad." Julian's voice was barely a whisper. Her palm rested gently on his leg. Warmth spread from her touch, not burning, just alive. Julian gasped. Not because he felt his leg move, but because for the first time since the accident, he felt something. A tingle. A whisper of sensation. The girl smiled softly. "You're still in there." Then she stood and walked away, disappearing into the crowd before his father could even ask her name. Julian stared at his knees, trembling. That night, Julian couldn't sleep. He kept touching his knee, searching for that warmth, that feeling. But it was gone, just cold, unresponsive skin. "Dad," he whispered the next morning. "I want to find her." His father sighed, setting down his coffee. "Julian, she was just a homeless child. What she did, it was coincidence. A trick of the mind." "It wasn't. Son, we've seen dozens of specialists. If they couldn't help you, she's different." Julian's voice cracked. "I felt something." His father's jaw tightened. He'd spent millions chasing hope, only to watch it crumble. He couldn't bear to see his son hurt again. "I won't let you chase false promises." But Julian was already wheeling toward the elevator. They found her 3 days later, near the same plaza. This time, a small crowd had gathered. The girl sat cross-legged on the pavement, her hand resting on an old woman's trembling arm. The woman's face, twisted in pain moments before, slowly relaxed. "She healed my arthritis," the woman whispered, tears streaming. People murmured. Skeptics scoffed. "Street magic. Placebo effect. Child's playing pretend." Julian's father pulled him back. "This is dangerous. People will exploit her, exploit you." But Julian wasn't listening. He was watching the girl, who just looked up and locked eyes with him again. Julian's father tried to shield him, but Julian pushed forward, wheeling through the dispersing crowd. The girl waited, sitting on the curb like she knew he'd come. "What's your name?" Julian asked breathlessly. "Amara." "I'm Julian." He hesitated. Can you really heal people?" She shrugged, picking at a loose thread on her sleeve. "I don't know what I do. I just feel things. And sometimes, when I touch people, they feel better." "Will you try again?" "With me." Amara studied him, not his wheelchair, not his expensive clothes, just him. "Your dad doesn't believe." "I do." She nodded slowly, then placed both hands on his knees. Julian's father stepped closer, protective but silent, watching. The warmth returned, but this time, it deepened. It spread like roots growing, like blood remembering how to flow. Julian's toes twitched. His father gasped. "Julian. I felt that." Tears streamed down Julian's face. "Dad, I felt my toes." Amara's hands trembled. She was exhausted, her face pale, but she didn't let go. "You have to believe too," she whispered. "Not just in me. In you." Julian closed his eyes. And for the first time in 2 years, he believed. His right foot shifted. Just an inch. But it moved. 3 months later, Julian stood at the plaza, without his wheelchair beside him. His legs were still weak, still learning, but they were his again. Amara sat on the same curb where they'd first met, but this time, she wasn't alone. Julian's father had found her a safe place to stay, enrolled her in school. She wore clean clothes now, her hair neatly braided, but her eyes still held that same deep certainty. "Race you to the fountain," she challenged, grinning. Julian laughed, a sound his father hadn't heard in years. "That's not fair. You've been walking your whole life. And you're stubborn enough to catch up." They walked together, slow and steady. Julian's father watched from a bench, his throat tight. The doctors had called it impossible. A medical anomaly. Spontaneous nerve regeneration triggered by, they couldn't explain it. But Julian knew. It wasn't just Amara's touch. It was her belief that awakened his own. It was two kids who refused to accept that broken meant forever. At the fountain, Amara dipped her hand in the water, then flicked droplets at him. Julian stumbled, laughing, catching himself. "See," she said softly. "You were always in there. You just needed someone to remind you." He smiled, the sun warm on his face. "We reminded each other." Thank you for watching till the end. Click subscribe and let me know the lessons you learned in the comment below, and turn on the notification bell because tomorrow I will be giving you another story just as interesting as this one, and you don't want to miss it.